Have you ever wondered how crucial the role of helium is in the medical world? An element so light, yet it carries such weight in our lives. Known for its lighter-than-air properties, helium is much more than just a party balloon filler. It's an unsung hero of modern medicine. One of its most critical roles lies in the operation of MRI machines, those gigantic donut-shaped devices that help doctors peek inside our bodies without invasive procedures. These machines depend on liquid helium to keep their superconducting magnets cool. Without helium, the magnets would overheat, rendering the machines useless. Beyond medicine, helium is a vital component in scientific research, diving, and the tech industry. Now, imagine a world without helium. Difficult to picture, isn't it? Yet we are heading towards a potential helium shortage. Recently, the US government sold its Federal Helium Reserve, a move that has raised concerns in the medical community. This reserve, a crucial cog in the wheel of our helium supply, was sold to Messer, an industrial gas company. The Federal Helium Reserve, spanning across 3 states with their own distinct laws, has been a significant contributor to the nation's helium supply, providing up to 30% of it. The sale of this reserve is not just a simple transaction, it comes with a likelihood of a temporary shutdown of the facility, a move that could exacerbate the existing shortage of helium. This shortage has already been felt with 3 out of 5 US helium suppliers rationing the element, and the cost of helium has seen a significant increase. The sale has been delayed multiple times due to regulatory and logistical issues. From every angle, the sale seems complex. It involves not just a change in ownership but also necessitates a separate system to enrich the helium. Moreover, this situation could increase reliance on foreign sources of helium such as Qatar and Russia. The US, a country known for its self-reliance, might find itself in a position of increased dependency, and while all this might seem like a simple matter of economics and supply chains, the implications run much deeper. This sale could have serious implications for the healthcare industry, but more on that in our next segment. Stay with us as we delve into the potential consequences of the helium stockpile sale next. One might ask, what could be the consequences of such a sale? Picture this. A domino effect where one action triggers a series of cascading events. The sale of the Federal Helium Reserve, supplying up to 30% of the country's helium, could potentially set off such a sequence. First and foremost, the sale could exacerbate an already existing helium shortage. Prior to the sale, 3 out of every 5 US helium suppliers were already rationing the element. The sale could lead to a temporary shutdown of the facility, further straining the supply, but the impact doesn't stop there. The sale could increase our reliance on foreign sources of helium. Countries like Qatar and Russia could become major players in the US helium market. This reliance on foreign suppliers might introduce additional uncertainties and potential supply disruptions due to geopolitical factors. Now, let's zoom in on a specific sector that heavily relies on helium: healthcare. MRI machines, those futuristic-looking contraptions that help diagnose a myriad of conditions, require liquid helium to keep their magnets cool. If helium becomes scarce, the operation of these machines could be severely compromised. But what if MRI manufacturers start producing alternatives that require less helium? That sounds like a viable solution, right? Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Many hospitals have been relying on their current helium-dependent MRI equipment to last for years. Switching to new machines is not only costly but also time-consuming, a luxury that many healthcare providers simply can't afford. The sale could also lead to an increase in helium prices, impacting scientific research, medical communities, and ultimately, patient care. Consequently, the cost of medical services could skyrocket, placing an additional burden on patients. It's a ripple effect that starts with the sale of a helium reserve and ends up affecting all of us. So how are hospitals reacting to this potential helium shortage? In the face of this impending crisis, hospitals are caught in a delicate balancing act. For years, they have been depending on their current helium-dependent MRI equipment. These machines have been designed to be robust, expected to last for years, even decades, providing critical imaging services to diagnose a wide range of medical conditions. But here's the catch. MRI machines require liquid helium to keep their magnets cool. Without it, these essential pieces of medical equipment simply cannot function. The looming helium shortage threatens to disrupt this vital service, leaving hospitals and their patients in a potentially precarious position. So what can be done? One possible solution comes from MRI manufacturers themselves. In response to the helium shortage, they've started selling alternatives to traditional machines that require less helium. These new models could help hospitals continue to provide crucial diagnostic services even as helium becomes increasingly scarce. But there's a snag: these new machines don't come cheap. Hospitals would need to invest a significant amount of money to upgrade their existing equipment. And let's not forget, many hospitals, especially those in rural areas or in less affluent communities, are already operating on tight budgets. Moreover, the transition to new machines would not be instantaneous. It would take time to phase out the old equipment and train staff on the new technology. During this transition period, hospitals could potentially face disruptions in their imaging services. So, it's a tightrope walk for hospitals. On one hand, they must continue to maintain their existing helium-dependent equipment to keep up with immediate patient needs. On the other, they must consider investing in potentially costly upgrades to ensure their ability to provide MRI services in the future. It's a difficult situation for hospitals, balancing between maintaining their existing equipment and considering potentially costly upgrades. So what does the future hold for helium in the medical world? The future of helium in the medical realm is, without a doubt, a topic of great concern. With the recent sale of the U.S. Federal Helium Reserve, the already existing helium shortage may exacerbate, leading us to question, where do we go from here? One possible solution lies in the realm of technology and innovation. MRI manufacturers have already started to adapt to the helium shortage by creating alternatives to traditional machines that require less helium. These new-age machines could potentially revolutionize the medical field, making us less dependent on helium reserves. Moreover, scientists are also exploring alternative cooling methods that could replace the need for helium altogether. However, these solutions aren't without their challenges. Many hospitals have been relying on their current helium-dependent MRI equipment to last for years. Transitioning to new systems will require time, money, and a period of adjustment. Aside from technological innovations, there's also a need for policy changes to ensure a sustainable supply of helium. This could involve diversifying helium sources, perhaps by increasing reliance on foreign suppliers such as Qatar and Russia. However, this solution is not without its complications, as it brings up issues of geopolitical stability and economic feasibility. Another potential policy solution could involve implementing regulations to manage the usage and distribution of helium, ensuring that it's used responsibly and efficiently. This could help to mitigate the effects of the shortage and ensure that this crucial element is available for those who need it most. While the future of helium in medicine is uncertain, one thing is clear: its importance cannot be underestimated, and solutions must be found to ensure its availability. The road ahead may be challenging, but with the right combination of technological innovation and policy reform, we can work towards a future where the medical world is not held hostage by the availability of helium. To recap our discussion today, we've delved into the crucial role helium plays in our healthcare system, particularly in the operation of MRI machines. We've also shed light on the recent sale of the U.S. Federal Helium Reserve, a move that supplies up to 30% of the country's helium, and the potential repercussions of this decision. The sale could exacerbate an existing helium shortage, affecting not just the medical field, but also scientific research. Furthermore, we've touched on the dilemma hospitals face. Many have been relying on their current helium-dependent MRI equipment to last for years, and the alternatives to traditional machines that require less helium are not yet widespread. As we navigate through this complex issue, it's clear that the matter is far from straightforward. Ultimately, the situation calls for immediate attention and action to ensure helium, a vital resource, remains accessible for the critical services it supports.